video today. Today I'm going to be talking about sports director, who is a sport director of a football club, and we're going to look at the role, what he does, and actually what he helps a football club achieve. So, Gaucho Brian, football agent, and yeah, that's me. For most of you guys who know me, so let's look at what a sporting director do. So first of all, a sports director, I'm going to give you 10 rules and what he does. So a sport director actually is someone responsible for the club's operation, including transfer, contracts, scouting, and squad development. So he's just generally, let's put this here so that you guys can get me. Yes. So he's generally someone that is in charge of all these things. And so if a new player is coming, a sporting director has to be at the heart of it, trying to talk to build a club. Actually, his main aim is to build a club so that the club starts functioning at the right way. For example, we have big clubs who have been struggling with that because they don't have good sporting director. The recruitment is quite poor. All starts from the sporting director recruiting, doing his job very well. So first, we're going to look at player transfer and recruitment. They negotiate signings and sales of players, ensuring the squad remains competitive while staying within the budget. So a sporting director is at the forefront of that he negotiates the contract, and he is in charge that all those things work accordingly, and also they meet their budget requirements so that they shouldn't be too up, maybe spending millions on average players, everything like that. So they do that due diligence so that they can achieve remarkable results. And the next one, we'll be looking at squad and team development. They work closely with the head coach to ensure that the team has right mix of players and tactical success. So when he is the one trying to be behind, like for example, if they are going in for 24 years and maximum 24 years old, or what age they may decide, so that they can have development and the players hit their peak still at the club. A sporting director also leads that role, that he is talking to the coach who have come in, or the manager, that this is how we want to run this club. We are looking players from this age so that after 2 seasons they hit their peak. All these kind of things have been designed by the sport director within a lot of years, a lot of them of course, but the sport director is always at the charge, at the head of it, discussing and telling people how this should be done. So, and the next is scouting and talent identification. So the sports director also, they handle player and staff. They lead the scouting network, coach to they lead the scouting network, also getting young players, identifying potential talents to sign for the club. So a sports director also is one that actually gives a lot of information on this delegate people to do certain tasks. But he before anyone comes into the club, or who is anyone has been spoken about, the first person you made mention is the sporting director. So if the scout is scouting a player, all those things will come through, and the sporting director has to give his approval because he is the one running the sports side of the business. So when the club fails, that's why they sack the manager, but also the sporting director, who be careful because they'll be looking at you about what the decisions you're doing. So contract negotiations, they handle player and staff contract negotiation, ensuring fair deals for the club and individuals. So when you often hear players have very high salaries, the sporting director is totally aware of that because he is in charge of all those things. So if a player is worth 100 euros, the sporting director should know, after calculating, making also his calculation based on the players playing in the various league and in the league, what they are on. He should know so that they shouldn't pay too much for a player which is not worth the money. And also, next we'll look at is the club philosophy and long-term strategy. Yes, the sporting director, he designs, he makes that. So if the squad wants to be a ball position, if they want to develop a philosophy that they play a lot of ball possession and do a lot of things, the sporting director also is in charge of that. So you see that a lot of things being given to the, I mean, that a lot of the clubs way of playing comes through discussion from the sporting director. Then he goes on, they look for a list of coaches that can play this method. The coach comes in, then thereby they discuss with their various they discuss who are we going to bring in that fits the profile. This is how it goes. But if you make a mistake and bring a player to who doesn't fit your profile, to take that player out becomes also a difficult situation. So most of the people that are like sporting directors have to always work closely with the coaches and also make things, I would say, make a lot of sacrifice and also find, yeah, you have to find the real coach and the real manager for your job. If not, you're always going to keep failing. Because they are the charge of managerial decisions. So let's talk about youth academy and development. They oversee youth system to ensure people play young players on are nurtured and integrated into the club. So this is also the sporting director's role to also look at this department, that youth players have game times, trying to know who is developing more, why, and is the academic coach good, all these general things, so that the whole structure of the club is functioning well. So he's not only just focused on the first team. He makes sure that the academic coach has been appointed by him. He gives has to play the same system that the first team. For example, that's like how most sporting director does, so that they can, when they come into the first team, they can fit in into the philosophy of what the manager is trying to do. Some of you guys are going to say, what if the manager gets sacked and they change the philosophy? No. Normally, when a sporting director comes and the owner of the club, they have brought the sporting director in, the coach can change, but most of the time, the sporting director should be define this defines what the club to do. Let's take, for example, if you say we are a ball position team, the sporting director should be able to say, okay, they are going to find a coach with that philosophy. If the coach don't meet that demand, then you can take him away. But the most thing is that, of course, you have to find players who fit within the structure and what you want to do. That's how it happens. So you find there's a sporting director. He goes now and look for a coach, and from there you start your recruitment, which recruitment is very huge. Then now we go to next, relationship with owners and board. They act as a bridge between the club's owners, board members, and coaching staff, balancing financial and sporting objectives. Yes, they are always a middleman between talking to the owner and communicating with the coaches. So everything that's happening within the first team and academic, everything being run, they are the one giving information to the owner, because probably the owner is not there on day-to-day basis, but they actually also deliver this message and make sure that if this coach is not performing or doing a good job, you have to make sure he does a good job, so that the team can be functioning well. If the coach doesn't know how to handle the big players, the sporting director also spots that and start to see, okay, if this gets worse and worse and worse, the worst thing is that the coach has to go and then someone comes in. So this is just how it goes, and the sporting director is at the forefront of all this running of a football club. The last one we'll look at is media and public relationships. The sporting directors also is very important for the media and public relationship and the public domain of the club, because the first thing, as he wants the club to have a certain brand, and he is also in charge of hiring people who can do certain tasks. So eventually, if you look at the role of a sporting director, you see that he has a lot of things in charge of the first team academic, going through various things just for the function of a club. So that's why when a sporting director is not a good sporting director, your club face difficulties in this situation. So that's just a bit about sporting directors. Sporting director I wanted to discuss with you guys. I'm going to be coming up with a lot of these topics, and then we can talk. Yeah, I'm also going to be live on or in the night or in the whatsoever time it might be at your own location. But this is finish time. I'll be live at finish time, which is Eastern European time, to communicate more about other topics. So yes, that's it, guys, and talk to you later, and see you. Take care. Keep an eye on the next video. Turn on your notification, guys, so that at least we can start to communicate. So if you see this video, try to turn on your notification, so that each time I'm online, we can speak, ask me questions, related football questions, and I can answer to you. As I said, as I'm a football agent and a performance trainer living in Finland, helping athletes achieve their maximum goal, which is to play professional football. I can also help you off the pitch stuffs. But the first thing is I want to help you this way. And also I have other projects that will be coming like from time soon I'll start moving country to country to just start. So let's take for example, I'm working on something on the pipeline now that move to a country, try to give advice players based on what they can do to play to move to Europe to play professional football, what structure they can do, how can they keep themselves ready, and how can they look opportunities. So these are also things that I'm working on behind the scenes that I'll let you guys know. So do take care and talk to you soon. Cheers and have a nice day. Bye.